Alright, let's come to the part 3 of the video, which is Adolescent and Adult Learners and Evaluation from the first topic, Teaching Aptitude for UGC NET Paper 1. So far, we've completed teaching basics and concepts, and I'm guessing if you've been following me, you're quite familiar with these topics and have revised as well. Next, we've completed objectives of learning and have done a lot of PYQs as well. So, I'm guessing you're familiar with these as well. If you want notes, flashcards, and topic wise previous year questions, please log into spacerevision.com. You'll find my course under community courses. Now, under learning, we've completed learner characteristics, and to give you a quick revision on this, here we learned about types of learning, what is observational learning, what is social learning, and cooperative learning styles. These are the important topics from learning characteristics. Next, we moved on to learning environment, where we spoke about different theories under learning environment, like humanistic theory of Carl Rogers, constructivist theory, P.F. Skinner's behavioralist theory. So, major theories, and we learned about work model, which is super important topic. Next, we did the types of learners, which is field independent learners, learners based on different learning style. So we completed those as well. Now, in this video, we're going to do adolescent and adult learners and evaluations. I think you must have heard about diagnostic evaluation, criterion based evaluation. So in this video, we'll learn about all of these. Coming to the first topic, adolescent and adult learners. So far, the questions that have appeared in UGC NET have come mostly from adolescent learners, and it's mostly based on regarding characteristics. If you've done some of the PYQs, I think you might have seen these kind of questions. Given from these statements, identify what are the adolescent learner characteristics. So, these kind of questions are what you can expect. So, based on these questions, let's learn. Adolescent learners are people between the age of 10 and 19 who are experiencing many changes as they transition from childhood to adulthood. So, kids between 10 and 19. Now you can put yourself in that position and try to relate to the concepts that we are gonna study here. So, what are the factors that impact adolescent learners? First is search for self concept. And I think you're also familiar with these terms and have gone through exactly this. Adolescents engage in process of self exploration and identity, striving to understand who they are, what they value, and their place in the world. When you grow up in a family. So, whatever values you've learned is from that particular family. But when you go to school, you learn from your peers, you learn from your teachers, you learn about different values. So, relating to these concepts, you try to understand what you are, what they mean. You learn about democracy, you learn about ethnicity, you learn about race. Based on those learnings, you also try to self evaluate yourself and engage in process of self exploration. Next, we have a desire for independence, and this is so true. As teenagers, we hated being told to do this, do that, don't do this, study, don't study, go to tuition. We hated that. So, adolescents desire autonomy and seek opportunities to make decisions and assert your independence from parental authority. It is the first time that you're conscious enough to make your own decisions, know what is right from wrong, so you assert your independence. Third, moral considerations. You develop a sense of morality and wrestle with ethical dilemmas. What is right? What is wrong? Should we bunk school? Should we not bunk school? Should we cheat? Should we not cheat? So, we develop moral consideration. Fourth, peer pressure. Adolescents are influenced by their peers and feel the pressure to conform. And this is something that all of us are familiar with. Humans have always thrived in a group. So we have that incessant need to fit in, and it's so strong when we are teenagers. So we are greatly influenced by peer pressure. Hence, adolescents at that age may feel peer pressure to conform to group norms. Next, communication. Adolescents navigate complex social dynamics and communication challenges as they interact with peers, adults, and authority figures. They're learning a lot about themselves. They've grown up in certain household, and when you're young, your interactions are very limited to parents, your siblings, neighbors, and your immediate family. But as you grow older, you have different figures of authority that you have to converse to, and based on that, you navigate the social dynamics. How do I talk to this? Respect. So you learn different aspects when you're an adolescent. Now, based on these factors, we have the key characteristics that define adolescent learners. And be mindful of these particular key terms. These are the key terms from which questions emerge. So let's come to the first key term, that is cognitive development. To think abstractly, critically, and logically. Finally, you're older, so you're able to think abstractly. You understand certain mathematical concepts. You can make sense of logic. You know what is right. You can relate one concept with another. So, cognitive development. Next, emotional sensitivity. Experience heightened emotions and are often sensitive to criticism and praise. Now, if you were to relate this particular concept to theories of learning that we've studied, like B.F. Skinner's positive and negative reinforcement tells us how to interact with learners, how to give positive and negative reinforcements. So, you learn the art of giving feedback. And if you study this way by relating one concept with another, you can do the tricky questions as well as revise multiple times. So always try to relate one concept with another. Now we've completed multiple topics, right? Since this is the fourth topic. So always try to relate what you've studied before to these. And do the same for paper 2 as well. You will have a stronger analysis and understanding of what you are studying. So exams get easier. Third, we have identity formation. Adolescents explore different roles, beliefs, and ideas to understand who they are. Easy. Next, social influence. Peer relationships become increasingly important. This is very true as we read here as well. Desire for autonomy. Adolescents strive for independence and autonomy. Physical changes. We are going through a lot of physical and hormonal changes. We go through puberty. So, this is very important. And as teachers, you need to be very wary about the physical changes on adolescents. Next, risk taking behavior. Our prefrontal cortex is not fully developed at that time. So, anything that do which is risky is more thrilling to us. Bunking school, doing anything naughty, they're more thrilling, they're more adventurous. So we might show risk taking behaviors. Next, we have attention to relevance. Engaged when learning is relevant to their lives and interest. As we are growing older and have cognitive development, we are more wary about the fact what we like, what we don't like, what subjects ignite us. So things that are relevant to our lives, our interests, we are more engaged in those topics. We can see that some students like history, some are really into maths, some love computer. So, things that are relevant to us, we give extra attention to it. Next, increase metacognition. Metacognition, another key term, which means self reflection. So, we develop the ability to think about their own thinking. So we develop the ability to think about our own thinking. What's going right? What's going wrong? What am I able to do? What am I not able to do? I need feedback. So able to think about our own thinking, reflect. Moral development. We develop a moral code of what is right and wrong. Alright, now let's come to the key characteristics of adult learners. As adult learners, we seek to be specialists of a particular task. During school, it's more general. You learn about different subjects, you learn about a variety of topics, but as you grow older, you specialize in a particular topic. And most of our learning is based on our career aspirations. So, based on this, our characteristics are also like that. First is directness, responsible for their own learning and are motivated by personal goals and interest. All of you here are studying for UGC NET. You have your own goals, you have your own interests, and you know that you want to clear this in order to become a professor. So, you know where you're directly being applied. Next, life experience. We have diverse life experience by the time we're adult learners. So we tend to integrate that to our learning process. Next, practical orientation. We prefer learning that is immediately applicable to our lives. I learned how to use Adobe so that I can learn to edit videos. So directly applicable to our lives. Next, autonomy. Adults greatly value autonomy and prefer learning experiences that allow them to make choices and control their learning environment. This is very true and something that all of us can relate to. Problem centeredness are often motivated by real life problems. As adults, we've experienced the problems of the world and therefore we seek to solve it. Next, readiness to learn. Adult learners are more receptive to learning when they perceive a need or relevance for that information. Very easy. We are goal oriented. Are goal oriented learners because we know what we need to do. We know have to clear this exam because it's a qualifying exam. So we know we have to study this. So it's more goal oriented. Next, time constraint. Adult learners often juggle multiple responsibilities, and this is true for all of us. Intrinsic motivation. Adults are more likely to engage in learning where they find it personally meaningful, enjoyable, or intrinsically rewarding. Because we do have that autonomy to decide what we want to learn, so we seek for things that are intrinsically motivating. Respect for prior knowledge. Adult learners value the existing knowledge and skills and prefer learning experience that build upon those or acknowledge their prior learning. We do bachelor's, most of us do masters in that, and then we do go ahead and do PhD in that particular subject. So we have respect for prior knowledge. These are some of the scenario based questions that I've added. We'll have a discussion on this in our WhatsApp group. And if you want to join, there's the link below, or you can write the answers in the comment box as well. So, pause the video and go through this and try to answer whether these are adult or adolescent learners. Next, a very important topic which is evaluation system, and you can expect direct question from here. This is a common topic that has been coming from many years in UGC NET paper 1. So, it's a very important exam and I think you've seen multiple questions on these. So, first is placement evaluation. Placement evaluation is conducted before the instruction. Okay, this is a key term that you have to know to determine a student's current knowledge, skills, and abilities. For example, when you were joining school in class 6 or class 7 or even in LKG, you were given an exam to write, that is like placement evaluation, to evaluate whether you will be able to fit in this particular course or not. So before the instructions to determine the student's current knowledge. Next, we have formative evaluation. They occur during. Okay, this is before, so this is during the instructional process, like small quizzes that teachers can ask. Did you understand? Socrative style of questioning. What was this? Open-ended questioning to understand whether you're understanding or not. So, an ongoing feedback like using quiz, class discussions, homework assignments during the instructional process. Next, we have diagnostic evaluation, which is to identify specific learning attributes like vocabulary test to understand how good your vocabulary is, or IQ test, which is diagnostic evaluation to understand the gap in knowledge that a student may have. Next, we have summative evaluation. This occurs at the end of the instructional period. So, semester break, final exam, standardized test to evaluate the student's learning by comparing it against a standard or benchmark at the end of the instructional period. Summative evaluation. What was the opposite of this? Formative evaluation that occurs during the instructional process. Next, criterion referenced evaluation. And this is one topic from which multiple questions have occurred. So, this is a important topic. Criterion referenced evaluation is an assessment method where a student's performance is measured against a set of predetermined criteria or learning standard. For example, class 10 boards you write, and you know only if you get more than 40% then you can qualify. So you are measured against a set of predetermined criteria. Next, we have norm referenced evaluation, where a student's evaluation is compared to the performance of a norm group or a representative sample. So, competitive exams like SATs or UPSC, CAT, CAT, and other such competitive exams. Next, Ipsative assessment, which is to measure a student's current performance against their own previous performance. Got it? And the opposite of this would be norm referenced against samples. To make things easy for you, I've just quickly summarized this here. After instruction, summative. During, diagnostic. Before, placement, diagnostic or formative. Against a set of predetermined criteria, criterion reference, performance of a norm, competitive exams, so norm reference, and compared to performance of oneself, ipsative. So these are some questions again to reflect on, and you have to figure out what type of evaluation is this. What type of evaluation is UGC NET exam? So answers in the comment below, or we'll be discussing this in our WhatsApp group. Alright, we're done with the fourth part of the video series on learning. Now we just have the last topic to do from teaching aptitude, which is higher education in India and instructional facilities. Now let's move on to PYQs. For MCQs, we come to the platform of spaced revision, and if you want the notes, flashcards, and topic wise previous year questions that I have created, then you can go to community course and you can subscribe to my course. So this has been added to my course. Let's click here and let's go to teaching aptitude and learning. Today's topic was adolescent and adult learners. So let's do the MCQs. Which of the following are not the characteristics of adolescent learners? They have uniformity in their physical development. No, it's constantly changing. They have stable self concepts. This is also incorrect. They're learning and hence their self concept is also changing. They often experience mood swings and emotional. They do. They have high hopes and aspirations for the future. They do. They have increased peer group pressure. They do. So A and B, which is not the characteristics, because C, D and E are characteristics. So let's click on submit. Perfect. Next question. Which of the following are the characteristics of mental development of adolescents? Increased ability to generalize the facts. This is correct. Development of memory and imagination. Yes. Decreased ability to deal with abstractions. No, it's an increased ability. Decreased ability, this also incorrect. Increased ability to solve problems. So A, B and E. Option 2. Perfect. Now let's do some MCQs from evaluation. Quite an important topic and 22 MCQs. So let's do a few here. When the test data tells us about a student's level of proficiency in a defined area, the procedure of evaluation is called. Formative is during the instruction, so it does not tell us about the proficiency in a defined area. Summative does tell us, but not in a defined area. It's the total after the entire semester is over or the entire year is over. So not in a defined area, it's overall. Norm reference testing is based on students' performance against their peers. And criterion is based on defined characteristics. So D. Perfect. Which of the following is indicative of innovation in the evolution? Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. In the evaluation system at present. Semesterization would be the way to do it, so not this. Project-based evaluation, it is an innovative technique, but let's look at other answer as well, but I think this is the correct answer. Choice-based credit system, again, way to do the evaluation, but not this. Objective-based evaluation system, like MCQs, so innovation would be project-based. Perfect. Which of the following modes of assessment, the potential for increasing intrinsic motivation is optimum? Intrinsic motivation, right? So it should be more continuous, and continuous would be formative assessment. But you can also think of it as this way. Whenever teacher will ask you questions and then probe you to answer, it makes you more curious. Or has short quizzes in the class, and if you know you're doing well, that will motivate you. Oh, whatever I'm studying, it's like showing up in the class. So intrinsic motivation. That's why I feel option A is the correct answer. But let's look at others as well. Computer-based test assessment. This is the way to evaluate, but not this. Summative would be after the exam. Norm-based should be against a set of peers, so I'm guessing A is the correct answer. Perfect. Which type of evaluation focuses on identification of deficiencies and difficulties of learner? This is very easy. It is diagnostic, but let's look at why others are incorrect. Summative would be again a general idea after the semester. Follow-up evaluation would be ipsative to look at the difference on how the test scores were, and criterion is for a well-defined. So C, diagnostic. Perfect. What are the elements of evaluation plan? Purpose, resources, analysis, authority. So I'm guessing 1, 2 and 3. Perfect. Which devices from the list given below will form part of formative evaluation? Okay, formative is during the process. So conducting a quiz session, this is correct. Giving multiple choice test in post-instructional sessions, no. Giving a master test, no. Providing a corrective feedback during, yes, 4 is correct. Encouraging opportunity for metacognitive thinking, 5 is also correct. Grading students. So I'm guessing it's 1, 4 and 5. D. Easy. Perfect. On the basis of summative test, a teacher is interpreting his or her students' performance in terms of their wellness lifestyle evident in their behavior. This is called, okay, this is a tricky play of words, so let's look at it one by one. Formative testing, no, because it's saying on the basis of summative test, so formative is during. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation, again no. norm referenced or criterion. It could be either this two. Norm is based on peers and criterion is based on defined. So in terms of their wellness, is it in terms of peers? No, so it's probably D. Perfect. So it's just a play of words that you need to be aware about. And if you don't know the correct answer, then method of elimination. These three are definitely incorrect, so D. Perfect. Formative evaluation tends to accelerate the pace of learning. As against summative evaluation, formative evaluation is highly reliable. A is true, but R is incorrect because they have their own method of evaluation. Perfect. Formative evaluation, summative evaluation, continuous and comprehensive. Okay, we just have to do the match the following. So formative is evaluating cognitive and co-cognitive aspects with regularity. Tests and the interpretation based on a yardstick. This is not grading the final, quizzes and discussions. So 1 and D. So 1 and 4. So this seems like the correct answer, but let's look at others as well. Summative evaluation, grading, this is definitely correct. 2, 3. Continuous and comprehensive, evaluating cognitive, yes. Norm and criterion reference, test, perfect. So easy. What are the characteristics of continuous and comprehensive evaluation? It increases the workload, this is no. It replaces marks, no. It evaluates every aspect of the student, 3 is correct. It helps in reducing, 3 and 4 seems like the correct answer. Okay, we don't have that. So it replaces marks with grades, 2, 3 and 4. So I think 2D is the correct answer. Perfect. So I did not for sure knew what the correct answer is, but yet playing around with words, trying to think maybe this is the correct answer works as well. I've skipped few of the MCQs to come to the 2023, the latest ones. You can do the rest yourself. Assertion: no test provides a perfect picture of students' abilities and skills. This reminds me of a quote by Albert Einstein when he said that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. So, no test provides a perfect picture of a student's abilities and skills. Not even IQ. This is correct. A test is only one small sample of a student's performance. A is correct and R is the correct explanation because no test can provide because it is only a sample, right? So whenever there's assertion and reason, always use because. Does it make sense when I add that because? So here it does make sense. So A is correct and R is the correct explanation. The process of comparing students' performance against his previous performance, this is correct. Direct question. Authentic assessments are assessment procedure that test skills and abilities as they would be applied in real life situation. True, that's the meaning of authentic. So 1 and 2, both the statements are correct. Perfect. Alright, we just have 2 more topics to go and we're done with teaching aptitude. And I hope you'll get 10 out of 10 in teaching aptitude by going through these YouTube videos and notes.